Hi, my name is Rod Cleef, and I'm the host of the Lifetime Cash Flow Through Real Estate Investing podcast. And every week I interview multifamily rock stars, and we talk about how they've built incredible wealth for themselves and their families through multifamily properties. So hit the like and subscribe buttons to get notified every Monday when a new episode comes out. Let's get to it. Welcome back to Multifamily Rockstars. So as you know, this is where we interview people that are crushing it in this business, and we show you the inside scoop about how people are creating massive success both in their businesses and in their lives. And as always, I've got my co-host, who's the director of my massive action team for our Warrior Group, Mark Nagy, on the call. Mark, what's up, brother?
And doing well, Rod. Just love to get right into it, man. We got a really cool story today of a guy doing his first deal, and super excited to hear about it. I think the listeners are going to like this one.
It's kind of an unusual one in that regard. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So yes. We've got Tom Petracca on the call today, and Tom is over 600 doors as a general partner and as a limited partner. But what's interesting is Tom is actually my partner in that San Antonio asset. And we're going to dig into that. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Thank you so much, Rod. Thanks, Mark, for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. So why don't you take a minute and just give us a little bit of your background, and that'll be a great place to start and jump off from.
Definitely. So you probably first hear my accent, right? Born and raised in Brazil, been living in this great country for 10 years, specifically in San Antonio. Come from IT background. I've been working for the largest companies, tech companies in the world, being a specialist in their technology, in the digital transformation technology. So, and I made a switch 2 years ago into the multifamily space. Matter of fact, 2019. And I had opportunity to meet Rod and met all the team and join the great program as well. So glad to be here.
That's right. You joined the Warrior program. Now, when did you actually join the Warrior program, Tom?
I did join specifically January 2021. Well, it's been 1 year, actually. Matter of fact, 1 year. Wow.
1 year. Okay.
Time flies.
All right.
Yeah, 1 year.
Awesome. Awesome.
January 2021.
So you've been in the tech business, and you bring in kind of an engineering background, an IT, a more analytical background, and talk about how you got in our San Antonio deal. How did that happen?
Yes, right. I think first of all, I really follow the program very specifically. So I really trust my coach. I really trust the process. I really trust the program itself, right? And one thing I really took as a main task was massive action. I was like, how can I expand my time or maximize my time to the max value for others, right? So then I started looking for some deals. And that's how the whole thing started, looking for deals. I always heard sponsors said, hey, if you find a good deal, bring it to me, we'll help you. And that kind of stick to my mind. I was like, okay, I got to find a good deal. And that's exactly what I stick to the program and to the action. Okay.
So, you live in San Antonio. That's where this last asset that I was involved in was, and 296 unit, beautiful asset that's just killing it. And so I know that you worked with my partner, Scott, in evaluating it. And I think you actually, you've acted as kind of our boots on the ground for that deal as well. Yes,
that's right. Yes, that's right. Amazing partnership. I love working with Scott as well. Great. We were both think alike.
Right.
So tell us about some of the advantages that you had then being the boots on the ground that helped you get into this first deal here. Almost 300 doors, by the way.
Yes. I think, a couple things, you got to know your market. I think even before we actually found that deal, I was working on a presentation for my own market, why I should invest in San Antonio, and that helped myself to really believe that, okay, I'm on the right market.
So one of the things we have all our warriors do is prepare a market presentation. And that's
correct.
That's something. And those of you listening, even if you're not a warrior, once you know where you're going to invest, you need to know what's going on there, right? So we have our warriors give market presentations on some of our coaching calls and sell us on a particular market. Why do we like it? What are the hot points in that market? What are the demographics like? What is the population, the income, the jobs? why should we want to invest with you in this particular market? And we have them do that even if they don't have a deal yet, an asset yet, because you have to know how to present the market as well as the deal. So anyway, please continue.
Exactly, Rod. That's very important, because at the end of the day, we are also influencing other people to invest on your market, because you really believe that market is delivering, and you prove that with data, right? Mm-hmm. So I was working on that presentation. In the same way, I was also found, creating relationships with brokers. As a boot on the ground, I know who are the brokers here in the city, right? I was getting in contact with them, getting to know them, and also getting to know who are buying in San Antonio. That's another very key factor. I joined some masterminds, local masterminds, to know who are the buyers, and when they are buying, what they're not buying, what they're buying, how much they're buying for. So all those are key value that we sometimes don't have it when you're not local.
What do you think were some of the advantages that helped you guys get this deal versus, the competition that was also looking at it?
Yes, I think it's being living in the city for a long time. I really understand the area very well and what's growing. So I really had a very advantage knowing that specific area very well. So I knew exactly, new developments that are happening. I knew the class changes that were happening as well. For example, from the profile of tenants, I knew the tenants in the area were making more money than the other specific zip codes, so they could pay more for rent. That means we could increase the potential revenue for that property. So I knew key advantage. For example, when you go look Google Maps, you don't see the developments that are happening in that specific area. So only boots on the ground can really drive and know exactly. I went to the Bexar County, for example, developments website, and I was looking permits approvals for that specific zip code as well. So those are very small details that sometimes we take for granted, that we don't really dig in that much. So coming to my background, I think that really helped, because that's what I do with my job. I need to find solutions, and I need to prove it, and I need to convince the customers at the end of the day that they are doing the right decisions.
No, that's great. And this particular asset is surrounded by new development. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff going in. There's a new apartment complex not that far away, new Starbucks, new entertainment complex. There's all sorts of cool stuff that, without that, that local knowledge, you really have to do your homework to find. But you did your homework as well. I mean, you That's really have dug in on that. So, that was absolutely helpful.
And that's one thing that I share with a couple warriors in some of our events, that you really gotta prove yourself as well, because even though you have all this data, you have all this information, but I still presenting to someone that knows the market and knows the industry, right? Someone that doesn't even need to look at my numbers to make sure that it's a good deal or not. So you still got to prove yourself as an expert. Say, look, I know what I'm doing. I did my homework, but I'm also here to prove myself and to work together.
Well, that's how you approach Scott, for sure.
That's right.
Okay, and that's how come you're a general partner in this deal. I mean, you signed on the deal. That's because of that, the value you brought.
Just for the listeners, what happened there? So you found the deal, and then how did it get to Rod?
Yeah, so no, I mean, it was through Scott. I worked very closely with Scott, and that's another thing. People sometimes they call them and they're very excited, like I was them as well. But then the coaching was really important. The coach also helped me how to show myself as an expert, not just as enthusiastic about, for finding that deal, right? But someone that say, look, I have this deal. And you don't have to tell someone that's a good deal when it's a good deal, right? They know it.
Well, you know what? Actually, Scott wasn't so sure about the deal, and you convinced him, and it turned out to be better than we'd hoped. Okay, yes, because you had that local market knowledge. I remember that, because he wasn't going to pursue it, and I think you convinced him to pursue it. And I know you also spent a lot of time one-on-one with him, going through the evaluation, going through the modeling of that deal, the pro forma of that deal, to make sure that it made sense. And
that's right. We did our work, a lot of options, like option one for finances. We did a lot of work. It wasn't something that came to our plate and we just offer, right?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a small deal either. I mean, we raised $13 million for it. You know,
Rob, many other people pass on that deal and they regret it. I'm sure they regret it.
Yeah.
Well, I love this story just because, again, you went out there, Tom, and you, again, just took action on the things that you knew how to do, and you just focused on that. And then you found the right people to put around you that helped you close on the deal on the other things that you didn't quite have, which is, you know, money, experience, et cetera.
Exactly.
And I love hearing stories like that.
Well, and you know, I'm going to tell you, let me interject something here. I'm going to tell you, you know, I've purchased, I think, within the next 60 days, we'll be close to 2,700 doors with students. Okay. So this is an example of that just in the last, 2.5, 3 years. So this is an example of that. And so, you know, that, and it doesn't have to be me, you know, those of you listening, it doesn't have to be me, but, you know, if you find the deal and you add value to an operator, someone like me, this is what can happen. And so, you know, this is why I'm, you know, I wanted to have Tom on the show just to show you that, you know, if you're willing to do the heavy lifting and do the level of detail like Tom did, or bring the deal and so on and so forth, and add value in some manner, then, you know, you can make something like this happen.
It can change your life. I mean, I'm telling you, it can change your life because, you know, now I'm someone with that amount of doors as an investor, as a general partner, and can change your life.
Yeah.
Can change your life.
Yeah.
So taking a quick step back on that, I know you did some LP investing right before you did this deal and before you became a warrior.
Right.
What made you ultimately decide to kind of take that next step, want to even do your own deals and take this thing to the next level, and, you know, not just stick with the passive investing?
Yeah, good question.
Yes, very great question. You know, to be honest, I felt something that I was like, I think I can do more, you know, with my skills, with my expertise, you know, on the computers, analyticals. Like, I think I can offer something else to someone else, more than just my money, right? I think I can probably dedicate a little more of my time and knowledge and a passion. I mean, today I'm very passionate about it. I mean, Rod knows. I'm very passionate about it.
Well, you're playing a much larger role even now in the CapEx piece of this and the asset management piece of this. So Tom is at the asset all the time. When we have our weekly calls, he's there very often. He's helping getting the bids on the capital expenditure projects that we're doing. So there's a lot of things that you're learning as you're helping as well, which are, you know, just invaluable for your future. And the other thing, you know, I want to give you kudos. Tom is also helping us on our back end systemize our front end where we utilize software to manage our deal flow and our deal analysis. So we're using our CRM HubSpot. And literally we just communicated on that this morning. We're finalizing that. We hired a virtual assistant to help us enter data.
For me, I mean, it's something that, as I said, I mean, it's part of my, you know, what I was trained for, as the background, and something that I value on the business, on the enterprise, on corporations. You gotta have coach. That's why I made that decision to join a program so I could scale. But now that I'm in, I was like, how can I also take my expertise from my enterprise to this real estate? And that's actually what Rod just mentioned.
No, that is I'm really glad you said that, because I'm going to tell you, you know, I don't care who you are, those you listening or watching this, you've got something to add. And whether it's your, like your background is in IT, whether it's project management, asset management of any kind, whether it's, you know, analytics, whether it's your ability to build relationships and develop relationships, there is some way that you can add value. And that's why the Warriors have been so successful. I mean, they're over 50,000 doors. I can't even keep track. It's about a couple thousand a month they're adding right now. You see it on the Facebook group, right, Tom? I mean, they're just, it's like crazy how many deals are happening right now. And by the way, if you are interested in the Warrior program, to apply, you text the word crush to 72345. So you text crush to 72345. And then, you see if we're a fit, we make sure you're a fit, and we don't take everybody. But I can promise you, if you set up the call, you'll leave the call better than when you came in, whether you work with us or not. But
that's how I joined. I was listening to your podcast driving in the middle of the pandemic when you said, hey, text this number. And I was driving. I was like, I'm not supposed to text and drive. But then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to text really quick. It's only for number 5. And then I came back from my trip 2 weeks later. I was like, oh, yeah, I got to sign up. I remember the hype. I was like, I got to sign up. That's how I signed up. That's how I signed up.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I was in December 2020. I was driving in the middle of pandemic.
Well, I know that you also came to our Warrior event here in Sarasota, and you met a bunch of other Warriors as well. We had one of the things we do for our Warriors is we do Warrior only events that, we have typically 200-300 people, and we had, I think, 230 here in Sarasota.
Was my first one.
Couple of months ago, and we've got another one coming up in April. But that's this business is a team sport, and that's how you meet. And we do everything we can to help connect our Warriors with each other through a lot of different things that we do, because it's just so even if you go out there and do this on your own, get connected, get around people that are doing this, go to your local meetup groups, do whatever you have to do to get around people that are doing this, because that's how you ramp this thing and accelerate this thing.
And tell other people what you do. Tell them, because they are eager to get into this space as well. Might be an LP, might be someone with a contractor company that can help you, might be someone as a lawyer, whatever. But tell people.
I know a lot of people, Tom, they default when they're getting started to kind of the smaller deals, right? They think, oh, I want to start with 5 units, 10 units, 20 units, work my way up, right? I know I hear that all the time when people are talking to myself and my team. Obviously, you came out and you did almost 300 doors on your first deal here. Did you originally start with that mindset if you wanted to go big? Did you start smaller, and then did that change? Tell us kind of about the mindset and how that came into play, like in terms of size of deal here.
Yes, no, that's a great question. I think everyone battles that right at the beginning. What can I get started? Where can I get started? What should I do? I did, kind of got lost a little bit at the first couple of weeks until I really see myself, where's my value at? And then I was like, you know what? The same amount of time that takes me to underwriting a 50 unit, it takes me to a 300, right? I just have to have a different sponsor for that 300, other than a different from the 50. So actually open more opportunities for me to really see the market as a whole, not just as one single profile of a criteria. But then I was like, I need to expand my team as well. That's how I came to Rod and Scott. I was like, okay, those are different players, 300 units, different than a 50, different than 20. But the same, I was just on my mind, I was just trying to maximize my time. I only have a few times an hour per day, per week. How can I maximize it?
Good. Yeah. So if if someone is listening to the show or watching the show and they haven't done anything yet, but they know they like what they're hearing, they like the business, they like real estate, maybe they're doing single family, they flipped something, wholesale something, just maybe bought a rental, but they're thinking about this multifamily business and haven't taken action yet. Is there any words of advice you might give them, Tom?
Yes, Rod. Matter of fact, on this event that you just mentioned, I brought 2 of my friends, close friends, because I was telling them, don't listen just for me. I mean, even though you gotta listen from other people, you gotta listen from the group, because that can change your future life, right? The way you approach your earnings, the way you approach your financial freedom. For me, getting into this business was a decision for my family as well. I want to make sure that they have the opportunities that I didn't have it when I was a child, right? So I want to give that opportunity. And if you're listening right now and you're thinking, hey, this is not for me, I'm never gonna make it, or I was in the same shoes than you a year ago. So trust me, trust the program, trust your coach, trust the process, and take action. That's what's very important for me. I didn't sit 1 week without underwriting a deal, because I made a decision to myself. I was like, I'm gonna get this deal, and I'm gonna make my money, and I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up until I find my first deal, and I didn't. So I just sat there. Nice. I underwrote more than 80 deals.
Wow. So, well, good for you. Good for you.
Well, that's one thing I would like to ask, because I know a lot of people listening are probably thinking, oh, this isn't an overnight success. It probably was easy. He's done this. What are some of the challenges you faced along this way, working this dealer before you even got there?
I think, credibility, right? I was nobody. When I was touring the properties, the brokers would look at me and say, who is this guy? I'm just wasting my time here. Yeah, he was probably wasting his time, but I was not wasting my time, right? So, and the way I say this is not to brag myself, but I'm saying that I knew what I was doing there. I knew my objective. I knew my goal. I knew why I was doing this, right? Maybe the broker didn't know why there's, touring the property with me, but at the end of the day, stick to your beliefs, stick to what's your goals, right? Your goals are very restricted. I made a goal. I was like, I'm going to find my deal by this time. And then I never gave up. And I see a lot of people, sometimes they give up we're already on the 15th of January. Some people already gave up on their first year goals, right? So that's a mistake, because you made the right choice, but you didn't stick with it. Stick with it.
That's right. No, that's great advice, buddy. That's great advice. So many people will make a New Year's resolution that's already gone by now, or definitely gone by February, which is, one of the reasons, I do my goal setting, exercise for people. I did one on January 1st of this year. And of course we do it at our events as well. But yeah.
Can I tell you something on that goal setting, Rod? Nobody knows yet. I mean, it's first time I'm going to share, but no numbers, nothing. But, I came to this country 10 years ago. I had nothing, right? I just came here for job and everything. And then I went to a sport car dealership, very nice sport car dealership. And I took a picture next to a car. It's like, man, one day I'm going to own that car. And I still have that picture. And literally by Christmas, last Christmas, 2 weeks ago, I just got that car.
You bought the car. Good for you, buddy.
The same car, the same exact color, everything. Just didn't have the lace at the top because I couldn't make it. But
that's awesome, buddy.
That's the power of awesome. The dreams. And then I went to a dealership, and then the guy on the dealership said, man, what a nice car. And then I really saw there was a young kid. I was like, you know why? 10 years ago, I showed him the picture. I was like, see, 10 years ago, I came to this.
This is the salesman at the dealership?
Yes. And then I told him,
love it.
Just believe it, man. Believe in work, you're going to get it. Because, I never believed it, but here I am.
Yeah, no, I tell the story, of doing that with cars that I got as well. And so, you did the exact same thing.
It's not about the money. It's not about the car. It's not about, it's about like, man, I had a goal. I had a dream. That was my dream. For 10 years, I worked for that. And the best thing, Rod? Who pays for that? Is my real estate investments. I don't pay for that car.
That's right. Well, listen, buddy, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you.
And adding some value, and it's great to see you. And awesome. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much, Rod. Thank you, Mark. It's a really pleasure to be here as well. So thanks, everyone.
All right. Take care. See you later.
Take care.
Rod, I know a lot of our listeners are wanting to take their multifamily investing business to the next level. Now, I know you've been hard at work helping our Warrior students do just that using our ACT methodology, which is awareness, close, and transform. Can you explain to the listeners how they can get our help?
You bet. Guys, we've been going nonstop for 3 years, building an amazing community of like-minded people. And our coaching students, which we call our Warriors, have had extraordinary results. They've purchased thousands and thousands of units. And last year, we did over 1,000 units with our students. And we're looking to grow this group and take it to the next level. We're looking for people who want to follow a proven framework that's really step by step, and then leverage our systems and network to raise equity, to find and close deals, and to build partnerships nationwide. Now, our Warrior community is finding success in any market cycle. So if you're interested in finding out more about how you can become more of our incredible network and take advantage of the incredible opportunities that are coming very soon, apply to work with us at mentorwithrod.com or text CRUSH to 72345, and we'll set up a call so you can check us out and we can check you out. That's mentorwithrod.com or text CRUSH to 72345.